Friends, the onions you see here were grown right at my home using completely organic methods, and I cultivated them in small grow bags. If you also want to grow onions at home and achieve a good harvest, be sure to watch this entire video. I will share the complete process with you, from sowing the seeds and raising the seedlings to transplanting, post-transplant care, fertilization, and finally, the harvest. After watching this video, you will be able to easily grow onions anywhere, whether in pots, grow bags, or directly in the ground at home or on your terrace. To grow onions, you first need to raise seedlings, essentially preparing a nursery. This nursery phase takes place between September and December, and the crop is harvested from January through March or April. You can easily raise these onion seedlings in the ground, pots, or grow bags. I am going to prepare an onion nursery right here on the ground. To do this, I am lightly tilling the soil and mixing in cow dung manure. Mixing cow dung manure into the soil helps the onion nursery establish well. Alternatively, if you prefer using chemicals, you can mix DAP into the soil to help the onion seedlings develop strong root systems. I have now leveled the soil, and I will scatter the onion seeds across the surface. Since onion seeds are very tiny, there is no need to plant them individually. Simply scatter them gently over the entire area. If you are preparing the nursery in a pot or grow bag, you can easily do so using a mixture of 50% coco peat and 50% vermicompost or cow dung manure. I have scattered all the seeds gently. Now, after sowing, you need to cover them with a layer of soil. Because onion seeds are so small, do not use a thick layer of soil. Apply only a very thin covering. The lighter the soil layer, the more easily the onion seeds will sprout. That is why I have spread the soil here with the help of a sieve. After covering the soil well all around, you have to wire it well with a spray can. And friends, you have to prepare its nursery by keeping it in full sunlight. Only after 4 to 5 days, the seeds of onion will start generating. The update you are seeing is after 7 to 8 days. Now you can see that all the seeds we have planted are almost all the seeds. They have germinated, which means I have got 99% germination rate, and they are growing very well. After another 25 days, the onion nursery will be of this size. Now see this update. It has been 25 days. Now look at all the plants which have grown very healthy. The plants have bent down a bit due to the night dew falling, but as soon as the sun comes, they will stand up again. But you see, all the plants are very healthy. At this time, if you want, you can transplant the onion plants, or you can wait for 8 to 10 more days and then friends, to transplant the onion plants. The size of the pot or grow garden you have to keep is to take a container at least 8 to 9 inches deep. Rest you can take any wide container. At present, I do not have a 8 to 9 inch deep container. So here I am growing it in 8 inch deep container. There is a 24 inch container, and after growing it, you have to mix 20% sand or coco peat. Commission has to be taken. Now after filling the potting mix properly in the pot, it is the turn to transplant the onion plants. Now friends, before transplanting the onion plants, you have to keep in mind that whatever is the height of the plants, like if the plant is 6 to 7 inches tall, you need to cut the leaves right down the middle, trimming them to about half their length. This is important because if you don't trim them before transplanting, the leaves will start to wither from the tips, potentially ruining the entire plant. Trimming them prevents this drying out, and also helps the onion plants stand upright after transplanting. When transplanting, maintain a spacing of 3 to 4 inches between individual plants. This ensures the onions develop to the proper size. Regarding the rows, keep a distance of at least 4 inches between one row and the next. Make a shallow hole in the soil to transplant the seedlings. Do not plant them too deeply. The white section, which forms the bulb, should be buried in the soil, but the point where the leaves emerge, the node, must remain above the soil surface. Plant them at a depth that keeps this node exposed. They are now positioned within the soil. As you can see, the base of the plant is set right at the soil level. After transplanting all the seedlings, make sure to water them thoroughly. You can either water the soil in the pot beforehand, moistening it before transplanting, or water them after the transplant. Both methods work well. Once watered, place them in a spot with full sunlight to grow. Onion plants thrive on sunlight. The more exposure they get, the better they grow. This update is from 10 to 15 days after transplanting. Just 2 to 3 days after transplanting, the roots settle into the soil, and the leaves begin to grow. Here is the update 20 days after transplanting. You can see that all the plants are growing vigorously and look very healthy. New leaf growth is evident. The existing leaves have elongated significantly, and plenty of new leaves have emerged. I am growing them in full sunlight. You should also place your onion plants where they receive at least 4 to 5 hours of direct sunlight daily. This update is from approximately 50 days after transplanting. You can see that the onion stems have thickened considerably, and numerous leaves have sprouted, all of which have become quite robust. Notice, too, that the stems are starting to turn red at the base. This indicates that the onion bulbs are beginning to form and swell underground. Since the stems are turning red at the bottom, it is crucial to fertilize the plants at this stage. If you fail to fertilize now, the resulting onion bulbs will be very small. Before applying any fertilizer, make sure to loosen the soil gently. Cultivate the soil lightly, as onion roots. Since the roots remain near the surface, you should not dig deep. Instead, perform only very light hoeing. In fact, whenever you grow onions, you should loosen the soil every 15 days using a gentle touch. Just lightly stir the top layer. This helps the onions grow much faster and more healthily. After loosening the soil, depending on the size of your pot or container, now, you need to add fertilizer. Here, I am using vermicompost, about 8 to 10 handfuls for this 24-inch wide container. You could also use cow dung manure if you prefer organic options. If you use chemical fertilizers, add DAP at this stage. This helps the onion roots establish well. At this point, it is also crucial to mound soil around the base. This ensures a good onion size and strong root development. If the plant happens to be weak early on, mounding soil around it helps then too. As you can see, I have mounded the soil properly. After adding the fertilizer and mounding the soil, water the plant thoroughly. This update is from 70 days later. The onion bulb has grown quite large by now. Let me show you a couple of other bulbs. Look at this one here. It has started forming a bulb. And look at this one. Its bulb has grown significantly. At this stage, you must maintain proper moisture in the soil to ensure the bulb reaches a good size. Avoid making the soil muddy or waterlogged, but keep it consistently moist. This update is from 82-85 days after planting. The onions are almost ready for harvest. You can see the leaves starting to dry out. About 8-10 days before harvesting, you should bend the onion stems down towards the ground. This allows the plant to direct all its energy into enlarging the bulb rather than maintaining green leaves. Doing this ensures that your onions. You can store onions grown this way for a longer period. Importantly, you must stop watering them completely after a certain stage. Farmers also use this method to ensure the onions don't spoil quickly after harvesting. After about 95 to 100 days, you will see the onion leaves have dried up, indicating they are ready for harvest. I am going to harvest them one by one now. You can see that even with organic cultivation, the onion size is quite impressive. Look at how well sized they are. While using chemicals like DAP might yield even larger onions, this size is excellent for organic farming. Also, I grew these in very shallow grow bags, only 6 inches deep, whereas the ideal depth for growing onions is usually 8 to 9 inches. Despite the shallow 6-inch depth, they have thrived beautifully. In a container just 24 inches wide, I managed to grow about 35 to 40 onions. You can also see various greens, like red amaranth, lal bhaji, growing alongside the onions. They have sprouted abundantly and are growing thick and healthy. They are size rivals that of field-grown onions. Field onions often achieve their size through chemical fertilizers, but I grew these entirely organically in shallow bags and still obtained such great results. Growing onions isn't very difficult. It requires some effort to prepare the nursery, but once the seedlings are ready, transplanting them is easy, and they don't require much maintenance thereafter. They grow very easily. All you need to provide is plenty of sunlight. As you can see, I've harvested a whole basket full of onions from just a single 24-inch container. There are about 30 to 40 onions in total. After harvesting, Let them sit in a shaded area for 4 to 5 days before using them in your kitchen. Growing onions organically not only makes them taste much better, but also makes them far healthier. So, I encourage you to follow my method to grow your own healthy, organic onions at home and enjoy their flavor in your cooking. I hope you found today's video useful. Creating these kinds of update videos takes a lot of time and effort, so please do leave a like and a comment to let me know what you thought. Thank you for watching, and please feel free to share this with any friends who might be interested in growing onions.